I never find the time to actually sit down and create a video. I promise I'll do better, but I had some thoughts. So I've created a bunch of applications recently by using, obviously, coding agents like Codex, Claude, even a little bit of Gemini, and a lot of Grok as well. And one thing I have to tell you is that if you don't know what you're doing, you will eventually pay a huge price. So, as an example, I am using AWS for all of my backend hosting, right? So all of the services that I use, it's mostly AWS. I use Bedrock, I use Lambda, I use ECS for hosting my containers. I use EKS periodically, although I'm moving away from that. And I created this little application. It's called it's essentially an online mafia game. It's a role-playing game that's very popular in the former Soviet Union, like Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, a whole bunch of these areas. Here in America, it's called Werewolf. And one of the first things that I did once I deployed the backend is I mapped an actual URL that I control, the subdomain of a domain name that I control, to the backend. So my domain name is bluffsquad.com, and what I did is I created, let's say, app or api.bluffsquad.com. I don't remember exactly which subdomain I used, and I mapped it to the CNAME of the ALB service that was generated automatically once I deployed my backend. Why? Well, very simple reason. First of all, for versioning purposes. Let's assume that I want to use a new service or a new endpoint for one reason or another when I do versioning, right? When I do a new deployment, I can easily switch which subdomain, or I switch where my subdomain is pointing to the new ALB FQDN, versus changing my front end when my back end FQDN changes, which is quite damaging to anybody who's actually using the application or hasn't, let's say, refreshed the browser window once I make the update